Sometimes you do not get the guitars that you ask for. You get what you truly deserve. Welcome back, troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. German McDonald's is absolutely insane. Do you guys see this Instagram? They're a whole bunch of meme lords, but my goodness, do they know how to create weird signature guitars for themselves. So let's just go ahead and jump into number 1. Labeled 1 out of 3, we've got a red and white paint job on the back. We have a Ronald McDonald Flying V. These things are just so crazy. I had to share them with you guys. It would have been fantastic if they were actually real Gibson signature guitars, but let's go ahead and dive into these things just for fun today. Okay, so this is some sort of a cheap import style Flying V. Obviously, McDonald's didn't pour too much money into these, but we get this yellow top with a little bit of white up here with red side, like ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise. Double white humbucking pickups. Check this out, not 1, not 2, but 3 chicken head selector knobs. I mean, I think that's very apropos because, McDonald's, they sell chicken nuggets, so obviously you gotta have the chicken heads put somewhere. And you've got the black switch tip here, just for good measure. Looks like we have an import style bridge, but I wouldn't say that's very surprising. And we've got our output jack on the side, but instead of being a recessed output that goes in at an angle, it just appears to be a straight one, so that might not be very comfortable to play with. Unless, to be fair, if you have a 90-degree angle jack, that would actually be pretty comfortable. But then on the chest of the guitar, we have the glorious McDonald's logo done up in their normal red and yellow colors. Imagine that. But then are you shocked to see the headstock? Ronald McDonald's eyes just painted on there, but we don't have his afro hair or anything like that. But we do have the red on the top. Black nut looks like some sort of a rosewood fretboard with our block inlay. I'd say that rosewood fretboard actually has some pretty good painting done around it and has some pretty cool wood figuring. But our fun does not end there. On the back, is that a trem cover we're seeing? No, that's just a very, very strange way to do a bolt-on neck. Normally bolt-on necks, they're like right here, but this one, they must have sank it a little bit further into the body and put their McDonald's 50th anniversary logo on here. At least, I don't read German over here, so I hope that's 50th anniversary or just 50th something else. I'm not sure. Then as far as our control plate on the back, it also has the M logo. It's red to contrast with the complete yellow back. But oh my goodness, look at that neck. It's candy cane striped, just like Ronald McDonald's limbs right here. But it says in English, I'm loving it, the whole McDonald's thing. So I know what you're thinking. That's pretty ridiculous. Trogly, why are you sharing this weird guitar with me today? Because it gets even crazier. Even though this was like an import model guitar, flip through all these photos and they have a flight case for this thing with Ronald McDonald shoes on it. Like these are like $300, $400 plus flight cases for this thing. That's ridiculous. Custom molded to fit this. They've got all this promotional material for it. They've got McDonald's pics. And that's just the beginning, because not only do we have Ronald McDonald here, we've got number 2 out of 3. Who is purple within the McDonald's franchise lore? That's right. It's a Grimace Flying V. Isn't that just a face of, please take me out of my misery? They've got that purple truss rod cover here. It's not just a purple guitar. They actually have it fuzzy like Grimace actually is. So, okay. I mean, it's not actual fuzz. It's just a printed design. But then the sides are a darker purple color, just like his body. But now we zoom into the body, very similar to what we saw on the headstock, all purple fuzz and all. We've got the McDonald's logo here, but unfortunately no red strike-through design this time, so it's not the traditional McDonald's logo, but double black pickups match with our 3 black knobs, which we have a beautiful close-up right here to see once again that design that's printed on here. And same strap button locations and output jack stuff. And once again, a M50 logo for the neck plate, and I'm loving it printed on the neck. But wait till you see this case. Oh man, it's got his feet in the lower half of his body, and it would be so much better if they actually had the outside of this case be fuzzy. That'd just be ridiculous. And of course, similar promotional material on this one. Grimace has to be my favorite of the 3, but let's check out this 3rd one anyways, because I think some of you guys might like it. It's the Hamburglar. This time they were able to incorporate the red again because Hamburglar has a fancy tie. This time it says McDonald's. But then you've got this striped paint job. It just looks great in that whole black and white uniform. He's ready to get to work, stealing. I could see some doom metal guy really just picking this one up and going to town, because it looks like they sandwiched it. You've got yellow sides, yellow neck, but the stripe paint jobs on the front and back. Pretty generic cheapy humbuckers in all these. Double slug coils usually means not the highest quality pickups. Here we can see a good up close look at the import bridge. But hey, look at this flesh colored headstock. He also looks a little bit terrified to be a guitar. But okay, the back might actually not be striped. It might just be straight up black. Once again, bolt-on neck. Oddly with slotted screws. I'm just now noticing that for the first time. And hey, look at that logo. You got a bun for your 50. And a straight up yellow neck on this one, also saying I'm loving it. And that's a pretty cool case too. He's running away with a hamburger. What is McDonald's Germany doing? These three are just so ridiculous, but beautiful at the same time. Again, I only wish these were real custom ordered Gibsons, because, I mean, heck, if they're doing all these custom flight cases for these import models, surely McDonald's could have spiced it up a little bit more, spent $6 grand on each of these and made them real Gibson custom shops, or at least some other name brand manufacturer. But that's okay. At least they were able to make these things happen. But what if I told you there is a way to own these guitars? So if you don't read German, you can just hop over to Google Translate and see what it says. It says, simply open the McDonald's app. I would assume this is a Germany exclusive thing. Start the slot machine, and with a bit of luck, win one of our 3 limited edition guitars. But if you don't win, you get a 50-cent coupon. Oh man, I wish so badly I could win one of these, because it's just strange. It's strange. So I wanted to share it with you guys. But hey, if German McDonald's signature guitars does not excite you, I've got a couple other things that might today. Like, check this out. The band Rush just came out with signature pinball machines in a Pro, Premium, and limited edition status. Let's be real here, guys. I have never wanted to buy a pinball machine in my life before, but now I do, and I'm not even the biggest fan of the band Rush. I just think it's great that we can incorporate cool music with cool pinball machines. If I had my guitar museum, I would have bought one of these just so people could play it and appreciate it. I would love to see more bands get custom pinball machines. And if you're buying signature Alex Lifeson Gibsons, you can actually afford these. I mean, this is the Pro model. You can read about all that it does here on this website, but the MSRP is just under $7,000, which, I mean, yeah, it's a lot to spend on a game, but hey, it's a Rush pinball machine. And trust me, that one is cheap in comparison to these other ones. So here's the Premium. That is $9,000. I'm not sure if that includes delivery and setup. Probably not. But then you go to the limited edition, which obviously I would have to get, right? I'm a collector guy. I like stuff like that. Sadly, they're sold out now, so I'm too late, but that was a whopping $11,000. Stern's Rush pinball machines reflect the energy, excitement, and experience of a live Rush concert. That sounds interesting. So it seems like they actually put music in here. Exclusive Rush concert footage. And it's got custom speech of Alex Lifeson and Geddy Lee. Okay. Oh man, even the Bare Naked Ladies guy was in here, Ed Robertson. And it's just gonna play music as you're doing it, including songs like Headlong Flight, Far Cry, One Little Victory, Working Man, among all these other ones. Man, I wish I would have read this description. I probably would have bought it. But they were only making 1,000 of these things globally. But yeah, apparently they are all sold out now, so I can't change my mind. I'm sorry, guys. But it does look like maybe the other ones won't be as limited. So all those machines have the great sounds in that TV screen, but the 1000 limited edition has a better expression lighting system with it, and looks like slightly better construction. Honestly, I don't really know much about pinball machines, but an exclusive full-colored mirror back glass inspired by Clockwork Angels, iconic custom cabinet artwork. Yeah, that seems pretty interesting. I guess let me know. Would you guys buy one of these, or would you rather just buy the signature Alex Lifeson guitar? Again, if I had my museum already, that would make sense in that aspect, but just having this at my house, probably not so much. Yeah, it's been a pretty crazy night, guys, so let's calm things down just a tad and look at a beautiful Les Paul. So this is a Gibson custom shop made to measure, one-piece quilt top in trans geode. All right, so being a one-piece top automatically makes this a pretty fancy Les Paul. Generally, Les Pauls are at least 2 pieces in the modern day era. And I've got to say, before reading that title, I did not even realize that's what this was. Because you can find pretty nicely book-matched quilt tops that look like this that have a center seam, but that is very fascinating. So the trans geode finish has been used on a few guitars, but very sparingly, but it's got this nice dark blue into a light blue. You've got some greens going on and like a smoky gray to a natural. I really love that wood grain that you can see going through here. But this is one of the fancy Gibson art guitars, meaning we've got a lot to go over. This particular one is outfitted with humbuckers, but look at her binding. So these art guitars get a little bit of additional binding on this. So it's not your usual like multi-ply. This time it's still multi-ply, but now we have an abalone layer in between. That's a really fancy attribute, but the problem is so many import guitars do that very cheaply. So whenever I see a high-end guitar also have that, it just reminds me of those cheap guitars, even though it's supposed to be the exact opposite of that. But now we move on to the fretboard. We've got butterflies. Out of all the fancy fretboards in Gibson's literature, the butterflies, I mean, they're interesting, but it would not be my first choice as far as what I would want on my fretboards. I can appreciate them because look at how much time that must take. Because you've got mother of pearl strips right here that are kind of wavy. Then you've got abalone for everything else. Looks like maybe mother of pearl for the body. Could also be abalone, kind of hard to tell. The abalone is the one that gets all the fancy colors. Now sometimes mother of pearl also gets fancy colors, but nothing like that. They all come from the shell of a sea-dwelling animal. Now you might be saying, hey Trogly, aren't you the guy that likes all the animal-influenced guitars? Why don't you like the butterflies? I guess it's probably because they're used on so many different guitars, and it's not necessarily called the butterfly. These art guitars don't get named after it. But it looks like our side marker inlays are also done up in abalone potentially. But what makes this one even fancier is they also did the abalone trim on the back, and you've got this gorgeous dark mahogany color back here. The sides are also done up in that very same way. Very nice. But if all that wasn't enough, check out this neck. 5-piece maple neck with the walnut stripes in the center, but heavily figured. That would actually look pretty nice in person. So that runs up all the way to the back, just looking great. And then you look over to the headstock. Oh man, they even did the abalone trim on the headstock and just went straight on abalone here. That might be too much baloney on one guitar, but when you're going fancy, you go all out. As far as art guitars go, I would say this is a nice one for the fan of abalone. But for everyone else, it's just a nice, beautiful, multicolored Les Paul that has butterflies on it. What's not to like? Alright troglodytes, I hope you enjoyed this unorthodox episode today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will catch you tomorrow on the next episode. Take care.